Hey, fire signs. So, this is your girl, Badana Krishana. I wanted to actually come and do WTF Mercury Retrograde readings because I feel like during Mercury Retrograde, a lot of things get confused. It's really hard for you to be clear about, what direction you're heading or why is it that, these things are delayed. Um, Timing is also everything, and universal timing is very different from our timing. Also, communication issues that you may be having is it pointing you into a different direction as to where you need to be, and so Mercury retrograde, as frustrating for a lot of people as it may be, for those who seem to be affected by it is in its own right a form of kind of like clearing the water. So we had like, this whole year we had a lot of eclipses, especially in like the fire signs. We had a lot of, of course, retrogrades that we just got out of Venus retrograde. And so this is definitely geared towards, like I said, us making sure that we stay on track with what is exactly happening within our lives. We're going through a really major shift right now, which is actually going to bring us into the first like 6 months of the year. And the first 6 months of the year are going to be lit. But, first we have to clear all the old energy. So let's just kind of see what's going on. And while I've been talking to you, I've been shuffling and all these cards like popped out. So I haven't even looked at them yet. So let's see what we got. Okay, so this is a little extreme. I wouldn't expect anything less from fire sign energy. So we start off with victory. So there's been something in our life that has come to fruition, something we've been working on that has come to fruition, and it is pretty amazing. Um, and it definitely taken a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of manifestation, but it's here now. And so this is kind of where we start with Mercury retrograde, with Mercury going into retrograde. We have the Witch of Earth. This is what I talk about, the manifestation energy. So whatever we've manifested, I feel like this is definitely geared and definitely related to um, our home life, our stability, our ability to be able to move forward in a more successful way within the 2019 cycle. This also would have to deal with our ability to make things plain, make things clear, tilling of the soil, if you will. You know, now I will say that the next card we get is the Apocalypse. Now it's funny because I think this is if I am not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a Kali representation. Yeah, I think this is a Kali representation. So in this Kali representation, Kali is very much about sort of destruction for the sake of creation, and so in this particular Mercury retrograde period, we might find ourselves in a place where, oh, so uncomfortable. We see that we actually have to get rid of some things that we've used sort of as our blanket, our safety net. It's kind of like we really need to clear the energy right now to prepare for where we're going. And so that can be a little bit that can be a little uncomfortable, and that might, and it might start off with things like I said, like communication, miscommunications, but really miscommunications in more of a the term Freudian slip, saying things that you actually do mean to say, but like subconsciously, but consciously, sort of things coming out a little bit more aggressive than you mean them to be, or that happening to you could be vice versa. But this is definitely saying, like, there is going to be a shift happening within this Mercury retrograde period, and just kind of be prepared for it, because it's not bad, and it's not bad for the sake of being bad. It's actually sort of like a necessary evil. It's sort of a jumping off point that kind of needs to happen. It's like there's space needs to be cleared before you can actually move forward into your, what I'd say, your happily ever after. Um, So, and this is because we're in a new cycle. So if you want happily ever after, that is totally up for grabs at this point. So we have the Witch of Flames. So the ability to be able to really work well in the realms of passion and the realms of the things that sort of feed your soul, you know. And so we're kind of in this element right now where it's like if it's not feeding your soul, like you need to get rid of it. Seriously, if it's not making you jump for joy, if it's not like greeting you, if it's not greeting you at the door and making your heart feel some type of way, especially for the Leos, we rule the heart chakra. So like I don't know what you're doing if you're not completely consumed by what it is that you have manifested that's in your life at the current moment. If you're not consumed by it, fire signs. If you're not consumed by it, you need to let it go. Okay. So letting it go, that whole process, by the way, of like figuring out what am I consumed by, what am I not consumed by, is a bit violent. There's been a lot of these like violent cards, and I don't mean like violent in the sense of like someone beating you up. I mean like violent in the sense of like when shifts happen sometimes, they're very chaotic and they're very like here, you know. They're very like, okay, now the house burnt down. That kind of like energy. It's all like if the proverbial house burns down, then this is basically telling you that you need to build anew, and that whatever you build next is going to be something that's going to sustain you a lot better than your previous experience. um and then I would say that this would probably bring us like more towards like the end of Mercury retrograde. We have the Ace of Earth. And so with all that violent energy, with all that sort of like clearing of the bullshit that we don't necessarily need, the Ace of Earth shows up. So this is more like the Ace of Spheres, right? So like the Ace of Spheres is like the, how would you say, like the beginning of, definitely beginning of something more stable. But before you can get here, you gotta go through here. You just have to. Like it's not an option. You have to go through this before you can get to the new beginning. And then the new beginning brings with us the Emperor energy. Top of our shit, top of our game, like doing things, making things happen, free of all the baggage and all the bondage and all the bullshit, like free of all that. We're here now at the Emperor card, the Master. Basically, this is like the tail end of what feels like a year of sort of mastership. It's the tail end of that. And so, you do reach that point right around the end, like probably about the end of Mercury retrograde. You reach the Emperor point. With the Emperor point comes the Lover. So our heart comes back. So if you found yourself jaded earlier in the year, if you found yourself sort of like lacking passion, lacking empathy, lacking compassion for people, you come back to a point where everything that is cleared out brings you to a place where you're actually able to feel again. We're able to feel excitement again, feel love again, feel compassion again, take care of people who need to be taken care of, not playing Captain Save-A-Ho, because we did that. We're done with that. We're done with Captain Save-A-Ho. The cape is up. We have put it in a frame like they do, like the Lakers jerseys. We put it in a frame, but we're not taking it back out. Okay? So this is bringing you to the point where you can be a lover again. And like, hello, like as a fire sign, like the best lovers, right? So anyway, I hope that this reading resonated with you and maybe gave you a little bit more clarity as to what's going on during this Mercury retrograde. Okay, I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.